hold you right here. Alright, nice. Alright, finally got a decent one. Look at that. Bumpy. Look at what I got. No doubt. 20. I'm getting to 20 and a quarter. Yeah. Say, without looking at this, 4 pound 1 ounce. This actually says 4.2.5. So 4.2.5. Interesting. Boga isn't like that exact. So I have been all over this river in the last, I think it goes back 23 years, maybe 24. I've never been to this particular access point, and I'm not sure why. It looks good. I think it's probably because it's one of the furthest drives from home. Just how the river lays. I'm gonna see if I can find some river smallmouth here. So I'm starting out trying this Z-Man Shadtron, that single hook up top. I could have put the treble hook on the bottom, and I probably ought to, but I don't know. Just, I'm gonna use it as it is out of the package. It's a sticky top hook. Man, it looks good too. That wedge tail just looks nice in the water. This one's the fast sink, so I'm fishing it pretty quickly. But I think I'm gonna make a run downstream and then head back up. Did pretty good coming up over that log. Pretty wide body bait. Just rolled right over that log and had no trouble. I'll tell you one thing immediately that I like about the Shadtron is it's unique that you can burn it and it will not. It's not rolling up on its side. At least the fast sink. I don't know whether the weighting, how it's weighted on the slow sink, if that changes. I think I got one in there. I'll try it a little bit later just to find out. I think the slow sink is something you would want to fish a little bit slower anyways, and probably wouldn't roll up on its side. But yeah, I've done this, and I see the top of the bait, only the back of the bait, which is good. It's not like a mag draft as an example, or even a Nessie. You go above a certain speed and it is not going to look right. I don't know if it's a function of how they weighted it, or the wedge tail as opposed to a boot or broom tail. I don't know, but I like it. I like that I can burn it. Alright, so far I think I might have gotten one hit, but I'm for sure catching a bunch of grass. Not a bunch, but I think what I want to do is swap out to the smaller size for now. That's the biggin I've been throwing. and then we'll lay this over top of it. That's the smaller size. I forget what they are. 4 and 6, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna try this one on. Might be the right size for the smallmouth, but I know a big smallmouth can get this in their jaw. So it's a single hook, and you put the line right in the nose. See that little hole? The line goes in there, and then it comes out the top here. You tie it on, and then when you pull it forward, there's this little slot that it slides up into, and that's where I'm going to store it. The cool thing about it being able to slide up away from the hook, you have them hooked here. This is weight that swings that can dislodge the hook, and I think it's good to have that separation. I mean, that's the whole premise of Texas rig. All right, I just learned something about the bait. So when you put it in the nose, it can go down and come out the belly. You see that? So I guess that's for your treble hook. But I don't know, is there like a Y shape in there? Let's see if I can curve it up. All right. There we go. Just kind of seats down in that top slot. And that thing really can stick up a good bit. Yep. See how she does. I want to see how it skips. Oh, it skips really good. Yes, I did just skip with a bait caster. I can do it. I just have a little bit more trouble with overruns with the bait caster than I do a spinning rod. I never have trouble. It's just how much downtime is it worth if you're skipping a bait to mess with your line if you mess it up. For a spinning rod. This is enough white water that I'm gonna assess what we got here, make sure that if I do turn this thing sideways in the white water, I'm not losing rods. Man, there's some nice pocket water on the way down that I think I want to cast at before I do the drop down. So the smaller one rolls a little bit, but at really top end speed. I can't remember whether this is a fast sink or a slow sink. Alright, let's push off and go down this thing. Yeah, it's in multiple stages. It definitely has the feel of an old dam. Yeah, the drop on this side is that's a no-go. It's like a couple feet when I get towards the middle and line it up on the big bouncy wave train. Alright, time to run it. might have got my sandwich wet. Wanted to take a look at this to tell you why I chose that, which was the scarier looking spot compared to that. So I was there looking down, assessing it, and much of this just looked like a flat horizon. I didn't see any whitewater, and that's a sign that it just drops off. And that's for sure what we have here would have not gone well. The reason that you look for the biggest whitewater, the biggest wave train, because that's where most of the water is going. And you want to be where most of the water is going because that's going to be where there's more depth. So I looked out, ferried across pretty far towards this scrub island up here. Got close to that, made the cast up there, and did a U-turn, just called a peel out, and threw it right through that. And that doesn't look that menacing from this angle. Coming down on it, it was pretty significant. I mean, there's peak to trough, there's probably 3 feet. Not huge, but like it totally filled this whole area of the water. And I was less stable at that point. We are on the current scene on the 4-inch scented jerk shad with eyeballs. Alright, I'm getting ready to go up one last time and fish a pocket in the middle of the whitewater. It looks still. It's a difficult place to get to and to hold position, but I think I can do it. Steering, I'm backsliding probably too much. I'm advancing. Look at what I'm doing. I'm hooking the fish here. And reset. It's one thing I love about the Elastec. There's not a whole lot of messing you got to do with it usually after catching the fish. I think there's going to be a mess of it in there. How do you fish it if you don't just have a motor to hold you right here? Okay. So I put a bigger one on. I kept the same small hook. I'm not saying that it shouldn't matter. With the Elastec, it should get out of the way, but in the back of my mind, I'm saying, nah, it should be the next size up. Yep. Just felt that weight, hold on it. So I'm gonna scoot over here and re-rig, and I'll show you what I was talking about. Alright, so that's the size bait I just put on this little hook. Now, the Elastec is very forgiving and compresses well, but I'm gonna put this other hook in front of you, and you can see I'm not gonna fish it because this thing got rusted in there, but I'll hold them both by the front, and you can see that one sort of nests inside the other, right? This thing's shot, I can't fish that. This little one I was fishing with that 4-incher is the right combination. but it's not the right hook for that bigger, like the 5-inch or whatever. So we'll swap them out. So while I'm re-rigging, I gotta shed some layers. April's one of those frustrating months that, like, you leave in the morning, you're like, ooh, it's chilly. And you put all sorts of stuff on. And then you're out there a few hours. You're like, yep, I'm burning up. I gotta at least get rid of this sweatshirt. That's a thicker one. Not long. Biggest one yet. I actually put the small one back on this one, but I took the Finesse jig off that other rod and put the larger one on that. And I think it'll help to have two different sizes, throw it in the same pocket, and just learn from there. Just change of size. Does that make any difference? I know the small one's working on numbers. Be cool to step up in size. Caught a few more out of that pocket in the middle of the whitewater with the bigger one of which was not a dank, I don't know, it was just probably a really thick, like 14.75. Haven't found the bigger grade of fish that I know this river has, so we're gonna turn around, head downstream, see what else is out here. So I've gone to one of these little secondary ledges down from the big drop. It's shallow and rocky, but there's some deep pockets here and there. And I've pulled the motor because it was banging, and I anchored just off the front. I mean, I can hit these pockets from here. There's a couple pockets like right below me that look nice. So I really did just move a big fish. Didn't poke it. I think my drag was too loose actually. And now I've snagged down there. I don't want to pull my anchor and go there because I know that there's active fish, big ones there. And the scented jerk shad is snagged. And I can pick up the other rod and throw that one, which I might if this doesn't work, but I'm letting line out as a means to change the angle. So say my bait's here and it's stuck under a rock there, and the line goes up and turns and I'm pulling on it, it's not working. But if I let slack out, the current will take that line and move it this way and it'll bow up. And if I snap it, maybe it backs it out. Let's see if that worked. It did not. Sometimes it does. All right, let's throw the other one. Feels like a better fish. Nice. Oh, secondary. Yep. Took it just sitting there. Come up on the feet. I'll slide you up. That's a good one. Oh, look at those red eyeballs. Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, you're pretty. loaded too. Alright, I am letting out the rear anchor and pull that motor up. And then I can face downstream into this fairly large, a little bit deeper water in between two trenches here. And that will untangle my tails, my jerk shad tails. Oh, I just moved a big fish. I don't know how I didn't poke him. That's a good one. I'm not going to land him on the left because I got my other line out there. Fish. Oh, yeah, he's caught the other line. Okay. Open the bail. Big fish. He's a nice fish. I overestimated because I've just been catching dinks all morning, but it's a nice one. I should put him on the board. He's 15 and a half. Now I am pulling the anchor. So I got two snags at the same time. Alright, so I forfeited the rear anchor a moment ago. Or I pulled it up to get those two rods unstuck. I got a rough idea where it was, but am I going to really dive for it if I see it? Probably not in this water. I was hoping that it came out in a shallow spot. I thought I was fairly close to this little shallow area. I checked up there, but I don't think that's where I was. I think it was here. I got more anchors, I just don't have any on me, and the rear anchor is very useful. I may switch the front to the rear, but I actually looked at the rear one when I was loading this up thinking, it's a little bit frayed. Should I take time to retie that? I should have. You know how it gets frayed? It's not dragging the bottom, it's driving down the road. You know, I take the anchor and I bring it back and I stick it underneath the seat and I wrap it around the seat frame so it doesn't go flying off if the clutch goes on the anchor wizard. And I think the wind just whips everything to death. Some talent right there. It's like I've done this before. Oh, I hate that. I hate it when it wraps the tip and it's snagged and I'm drifting. Alright, we're free. This is a deep spot. There's a lot of depth right here now that I've drifted into it and looked at it. It makes sense why there'd be some nicer fish right here. Let's throw it down at the tail end. You know what I struggle with, and it doesn't make sense, but the stubbornness of, I want to find that anchor. And I think, what's it worth? It's worth using it the rest of the day. That's the most valuable thing. I have more of them at home. They're the Anchor Wizard ones that are like a four-lobed, like a four-leaf clover, and they're really good anchors. And I bought more last year just to have extras. I don't carry one in, an extra one here, and then it's worth whatever I paid for it, plus shipping or whatever. But is it worth my time? not fishing? Probably not, no. I don't think it is. All right, stop looping. Had one on there a second ago. I thought, hey, this is a pretty deep area, and have not thrown a crankbait yet today, and it's a good way to quickly work a deeper rocky area like this. All right, I have not seen a whole lot of this section yet, so got the crankbait on. I'm gonna cover some ground. What I'm throwing it on, this is the Judge medium heavy, rain shadow Judge medium heavy in a spinning rod, and got the Revo. What do they call this thing? Revo Rocket. I don't know. It's the Abu Garcia super fast. I forget what the ratio is, but it gathers a lot of line very quickly. And I decided to go all fluoro, but a specific kind of fluoro that I'm trying out. Keep hearing good things about gamma fluorocarbon is being nearly indestructible. And that sounds like a good deal. Sounds like something I like. This is 20, so it's one that you do your power fishing with and just cast and retrieve and cast and retrieve. Oh, I got a loop in there. It is cable-y, but cable-y and tough is okay. I'm also using the same fluoro for my leader material, but in like 10, 12, I think I might have gotten 15, 16. I think they come in 16. And I just found last year when I put all fluoro on the Judge, I don't lose fish. Like if I've got them hooked, I've caught them. That combination is just a good combo. I don't like this as much. Like we've gotten rid of all of our depth. It's a crankbait fish. It's a good one. Back to where this guy was in a second. I gotta look at it. I gotta for sure make mental note. What kind of water was this guy in? Yeah, I remember that stump. Still got the black lips. The black lips. That fish was somewhere between that root ball. It's still kind of shallow there, but it deepens out right in here on the current seam. I remember seeing that before I casted. I don't think he was as far down as this log jam here, but that kind of water. Crankbaits. It's deeper where I'm sitting. Not all the way deep, but like 4.5 feet. And I don't know what it is up in there, but I would bet it ain't shallow. It's just not where the bigger ones have been. I think they would move shallow if the river was a little bit higher. It's still kind of low for it being almost May. We should have better flow than this. We're still in a drought. Yeah, the drought has been a year and a half. We've been below on rainfall. Yeah, moving up on where that fish was, making some observations. There's still good current here. He was on the current seam between here and that bank, and I'm gonna tell you it's 3.5 feet deep. Not crazy deep. He also wasn't crazy big fish. He was a nice one though. caught where I know it to be shallow. And I was just reeling it in. Good looking fish. At least 17. Alright, finally got a decent one. Get a quick measurement and stick them back in there. Looks like 17 and a half. Nice one. Alright, that was fun. Current seam, Scrub Island. Not even like an island, just a little patch there. In 4-inch scented jerk shad. Just skipped up in there. Alright, that same area. There's another. Water here to. And it's this shallow. Sometimes the best move is get out in one hold position. Motor up. View for you, but this is gonna work. It's so shallow all the way around that spot that like the motor isn't gonna do it. It's swift, so the anchor isn't gonna anchor singular. Ooh, there's one. Oh, that's a good one. Lead you around the motor. I can't believe you ever popped off yet. There's many things I've done wrong. But yeah, nice one there. Still got his black spots from winter. Let's see what we got. Island pocket. There we go. That's a good one. Mad, bro. Don't loosen the drag on. Try to preserve the net. Just gonna do this. All got the spots on them still. Somewhere. half a barrel, a shoe sole, a mechanic's glove, a Bud Light full of mud, and some tape. I don't know what this is. It looks weird. It's a huge fall fish. Wow! Look at that. He's got like horns on his nose. The fall fish. Do they just get that when they're getting near spawning? I don't know. I don't usually see the fall fish with their horns up. Bumpy. How big is he? Big enough he says, I'm out of here, man. Oh. Nope, I don't get to measure him. I bet she was 19 inches. He messed up my jig. Look at that. I like bent that the wrong way around. They're menaces. They just wreck stuff. Put that one up in the eddy. Let it sit there for 10 seconds. Nothing. Moved it to the current seam. On it. On it. That one's got some staying power. Oh yeah. See the drag of it. That's a big fish. Oh yeah. That's the kind we hope to catch always. It's in the current. I keep you buttoned. It's a very large fish. He's got a friend with him too. That's a big one. What am I doing with that? I'm gonna land this guy because he's big. Very big. Got a lot of power here. Gotcha. Caught ya. Oh, it's a big fish. I'm gonna let you relax a minute. And we'll take a look at this in a moment. Take a look at what I got. No doubt. 20. No doubt at all. Oh yeah. He's 20 and a half, maybe. Yep. No, I'm closing that mouth. I'm getting to 20 and a quarter. Yeah. Well, I was right. Got a 20. 20.25. Let's get a quick weight on this guy. Say, without looking at this. 4 pound, 1 ounce. I'm right. I did get a digital scale. I want to, like it's on the Boga, it's like right at just above 4 pounds. I'll let this guy chill for a minute. My new digital. This clip on. This actually says 42.5. So 42.5. Interesting. Boga's just Boga isn't like that exacting with it, but all right, we'll take another look at this 20.5 for 2.5. That's some specificity, and I'm going to take a quick reel for Instagram. All right, let's take a look at where that fish was. Basically, anytime you have these little gravel dumps, and I think this one's man-made. Sometimes they're from a creek, but I don't see a creek there. I think there's a gravel dump there and a gravel dump there. And just on the backside, there's a little bit of scrub, and there's kind of a haze, pollen haze, foam, whatever you call it. But right on that little point is where I skipped it. Somewhere on that current seam, it jammed it. So I had loosened that drag during that fight, so I'm trying to bring it back to where it should be for the hook set, which I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing far less of just wham than I have just reel and keep it pointed at it. I just feel like across so many different presentations, finesse and power, I just do better if I'm not doing the snap set in terms of the hookup percentage. So take that for what it's worth, but I need it fairly tight for that initial, burying the hook. But it's not a big hook, and to keep that fish, keep that hook in him, it just made sense. He pulled drag many times in that fight. He pulled out into this current and just did what a 4+ pound river smallmouth should do, and that's to pull drag. So I do like the specificity offered by that particular scale. I mean, it's just a Bass Pro Shop house brand scale, and I don't know, it was it $20? $25? I don't know. I don't remember. It wasn't a lot. I remember looking at it being like, yeah, it's trying to be the Bubba, and I don't know. I'm gonna say it's not. It was within an ounce of what I thought it was looking at the Boga grip. And the Bogas are, I think, pretty accurate, but it gave me an ounce and a half more than I thought it was by looking at the not very finely tuned graduations. I forget how many lines it has per pound, but it's not many. It might be 4 total. That was a hook set, by the way. Just reeling it. Just reel. You think there's one there, just point at it and just reel. Like, it's not a big hook. It doesn't need, although I would contend that, even if it was a big hook, if it's a sharp hook, just reeling down hard till you feel drag engaging, and then giving it a sweep set. Really lean into it. That's how like, I remember reading Big Bass Zone by Bill Seamantel, and I forget who the other guy was. That's what they taught or advocated, with all that plastic of those big, chunky, very early swim baits. Just reel down on it, and then swing hard. I think it's good for lots of baits. Just out in the middle of current. right in the middle. Like the way that foam looks. This one. Bet you there's more where that came from. He's saying no, there isn't. He just told me, really, sir, I was the only one in there. There'd be no point in fishing there any further now that you've caught me. Be on your way. You believe him? I don't. Alright. Let's bomb some crankbaits in there. See what happens. Oh, I just missed one on the crank. He was on for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds. Good puller. I don't know how they get off of that quad hook ever. Right at the back. Just swimming it back. I actually watched him come up behind it and not eat it. And then I killed it, and it dove, and then he jammed it. We got a little bit of weather pushing around. I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and it sprinkled on me a little bit here. Hasn't just outright rained, but I did bring the rain jacket. Wedged on the I should have done that with that line. Oh, my third biggest today. So this, it's a nice fish. This line of rocks here, I looked at it on Google Maps, and there's a bunch of them kind of all over here. I guess when Google took its picture, it was low and clear, and you could really see that it's man-made. Like, they're a bunch of walls and shapes, and I guess whoever has camp here kind of took it upon themselves to do some rock scaping of the river. So I'm retying another one of these, and I would say that I'm retiring a bunch of them, but they can be rehabbed. What happens is the fish smash them up, and the lead comes off of the shank and starts rattling around, and I can clip all the line off of it. I'm doing a Snell knot, by the way. And heat it up again and get more powder paint to reset the lead weight in the, the orientation that I want it. Because if it's loose, if this thing, I just had one there. If this isn't a continuous solid piece, which when it bends up, it's not. What you get is the inability to, and this this one's so chewed up, still got life in it. When you go to thread this on, it goes in between the lead and the shank. So that one still was fighting me a little bit to do it right, but it did it right because it's a fresh hook. shallow water, show yourself to me. Rock bass out of the same hole second ago I didn't film, and then this nice one up in the wood. In the wood. Wood is good. So I've started the trip back up to the truck, and I need some sort of power fishing presentation, and that's all I'm doing is swimming that the larger one, the 5-inch. I would do it with a 4-inch, but the 4-inch, like, it just spirals way too easily. And I think they'll hit these 5s. And they're hitting it. At first, one I missed was like a substantial fish. I'm just reeling it in. Get it off that rock. Just a kind of slow, steady, even, not twitching it, pointing it right at it, pointing the rod tip at it, because that was a hook set. Just accelerate into reeling it in when you feel anything. It's late in the day, and I figure I'm probably going to be more willing to chase. And I've been throwing it into spots and waiting for them to pick it up off the bottom most of the day. And, you know, I think they'll chase. I think I can strain more water. Oh, he's a pretty good one. Yep. Wouldn't have guessed it'd be a good one. Very shallow, no feature. You know, I did make the cast though. Huh? Why are you there? Like, the more I look at that spot, the more I'm like, why are you there? I guess there is a little opening to cut through creek right there. Nice looking fish. Pretty effective, like, technique. Don't let it corkscrew. You gotta learn what that speed is. You know, if you go faster than that, you're just asking for bird's nest. But this is the speed. It's getting bit that I can look at the bait in the water and, you know, you do want to keep an eye on it. And if you let it hang like this and it doesn't really unspin, you're doing good. If it spins hard, you're probably messing it up, going too fast. So get this. The big ones are so smart. I just watched one do it. Let me give myself more line here. More line, thank you. All right, it's moving along like this, right? If they come by sideways and T-bone it, you feel it right away. But that's not what they do. They come up behind it and they mouth it, and then they let go and see what happens, see what it does. That's where I think, you know, the jackhammer is so effective, because you feel that interruption in that blade thumping. Same thing with the boot tail, you know, paddle tail swim bait. If you're good at being in tune with what's happening there, you feel that boot tail, that paddle tail stop. Dook, 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 dook. It'll stop and you'll be like, oh, that's a fish, whether you recognize it or not. If you do it long enough, you're going to learn it. You're going to learn to, listen to that tail, feel that vibration. It feels normal. When it doesn't feel normal, you set the hook. With this thing, see, that was me just hitting a rock, I think. You don't feel anything, so you really got to point the rod straight at it. I think I just missed one there. It's tricky. It's tricky, but I think it's effective. I think you got to focus. I don't think this is something you do if the river's up. I think this is a low, clear, and it is fairly low and clear presentation. It's very finessey. I see you coming out after it. You're not eating it. Straight swimming. Straight swimming. What are you gonna do? Yeah, that was a good one, and that was not swimming it. That was because I looked at a spot and said, that looks like a big fish is going to be there, and there is a big fish there. Because, why? Because there's a rock pile that someone deposited in. There's gravel dumps. That's a man-made one at a campsite. It's probably how someone walks down to the shoreline there. I'll show you what that looks like here. Here is the gravel dump. The fish was on the left side of that gravel dump. Right there. That was worth more than just a passing power fishing cast. That was worth it. Stick it in there and let it sit a minute. So I talked to a gentleman who, down at his camp further down, he came out and spoke with me, asked how fishing was. And he said that he had done better about a week ago. The river was up more, and that makes sense. I like fishing when it's up a little bit. You can power fish better when it's up, when it's pushy. It makes them. Just missed one there. It makes it so you don't have to finesse. You can just. He talking about spinner baits, and I told him what he's like, how have you done? I told him I got one over 4, and his eyes perked up, and I think he said his best one today he got was on a swim bait, smaller plastic swim bait. But I'm getting good numbers for just throwing the scented jerk shad. So I'm alternating back into straight swim with the 5. If I see a gravel dump, I'm throwing the 4 and letting it sit. I'm running out of daylight. It's 20 minutes till 7, and I think I got daylight till 8-ish, I think. Maybe longer, maybe not, because it's clouding up, getting darker. I think it will rain on me before I get out of here. I think I might have to throw that sweatshirt back on, and I got a rain jacket. Yeah, I see you. You chased it, swatted at it, but then didn't eat it. Here, eat this. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. The amount of bugs coming off of the surface of the water right now is astonishing. I'm eating lots of them. Not intentionally, but I'm eating them. I still have to... I gotta... There's a dink. I still have to walk up through that that pretty significant rapid. I scouted it earlier. I looked at it and I said, yeah, I can see my line of hiking up this one bank where the scrub island is. I'd rather do that with some daylight than in the dark. So I feel like I didn't do a lot of mileage, but it wasn't nothing. So I'm making my way back. I'm just wondering if the level of buggery around me is at all visible. Lots of bugs. And it's starting to rain on me. I can see that big rapid up there. Still have some daylight. I think it's time for me to get to shore, get a rain jacket on, hold this camera down. Yep, I'm doing all that right now. This is where I lost a big one earlier today, where I lost my anchor. And I remember the spot where I had a big one get off. And I think I've caught that fish or one of his friends. But it's a good one. Remember the eat spot. Good. No, you weren't the really big one, but you're pretty big. Maybe it's a good eat spot for lots of fish. Alright, it's the last of the day. Maybe I'm gonna run up through this rapid now. That is not how I thought I was going to do that. I tried to get to what I can see is a good sneak route, or at least walk up the gravel bar route. The approach to it was way too skinny. and the motor, it was swift. The motor couldn't keep me going all the way to it. So I walked up, dragged up. Man, I'm out of breath. I'm gonna make a few casts while I catch my breath. Hold on. Yep, it's April. They're chewing. Thank you. Oh my God. Thought I was done. Not done yet. These big angry fish are gonna chew. Not a daylight. Not out of fish. Straight swimming in the dark. Still going for it. Really, this time, last one. I promise. Am I a horrible liar? I'm definitely a liar. Alright, I'm gonna be honest here for a second. I don't know if this will be the last one. It might be the last one that I can actually see what I'm doing though. Okay. It has to be the last one because he actually shook the bait off, which is exceedingly rare. Yeah, I had more. In front of the ramp. All right, so that dusk bite was insane. And just straight swimming the 5-inch scented jerk shad, I wouldn't have guessed it would have been that effective. Like that was as effective as throwing a spinnerbait when they're on the spinnerbait. And I think the spinnerbait needs a little more stain in the water to really be optimized, and I think this presentation, this bait, swimming the 5-inch scented jerk shad on that hook, you can be effective with it with very little to no stain at all, which absolutely fills a needed, a needed presentation. Like it's a clear water, strain water, and they eat it. They eat it. It's cool. Thanks for watching. See ya.